Hey guys, it's Jan. This video will be a full build guide for this. Yes, hopefully the camera can focus on it. My FM-S2 Thundershot. Just to warn you guys, this video will be long. If you guys want to watch the full video from beginning to end, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This is going to be a long build, and I really worked hard on this video. For everyone's convenience, I'm leaving links to each section of the video in case anyone wants to go back and reference the work that needs to be done for the car. And without further ado, on with the show. Hey guys, welcome to this section of the video where we're going to go through the parts that I'm going to be using for this Super 2 FM build. First part that we're going to use is these things, the HG Rare Multi-Roller Setting Stay, Japan Cup 2013 version. Item number 94954. We're going to be using two of them. They're going to be stacked on top of each other on the back, and this is what we're going to use for the brakes. That's how we're going to be able to do the maximum dimensions for the kits for the car. The next part that we're going to use is the 2mm reinforcing plate, item number 95007. We're going to be using one set, so basically it's a pair of them, and these have been used too. I've basically taken the car apart, actually taken two cars apart in order to be able to build this setup. So we're going to need to use two of them. This is going to be for where the rollers are going to be mounted, one in the front and then one in the back of the car. Next piece that we're going to go through is the carbon multi-reinforcement plate, the popsicle. You're going to need two sets of those, and this has been used before too, like I've been saying. I've taken my old car apart, and I'm actually going to end up just like reusing most of the parts from in here as well too. The tires and the wheels I'm going to be using. We're going to cover that later on. So we're going to need two sets. That's mainly going to be used for the body damper. I'm going to cut this up so that it fits around the Super 2 gears, and this is going to be used for the underguard on the front, which brings us to this piece, the HG carbon wide rear plate, item number 95089. We're going to be using that for the underguard, and this piece are going to be used in tandem and sort of separately. 15452, the FRP wide rear plate, is going to be used to shape the this piece. As you can see, these kind of jut out too far forward, and if I leave them alone, the car won't be able to fit inside the box. So I'm actually going to cut off the edges of this piece so that they don't like shoot too far out, and I'm going to use this as a template for cutting those parts off. And this is going to be used for the rollers, the bumper and the roller setup. The 2mm will stay here, will go as a stack right here like that, and then the 1.5mm will end up being an underguard, the front underguard for the front assembly of the setup. And it won't be a front assembly anymore, basically, because it used to be the old rear of the Super 2 chassis. So the chassis that we're going to use is the one that came with the Liberty Emperor Premium. Let me go and show you guys. The cool thing about the Liberty Emperor Premium is that not only does it come with the a white Super 2 chassis, but it also comes with a quick release gear cover. So that's one of the reasons why this kit is relatively highly coveted. Well, not highly coveted, but like, if you guys don't know, now you know that it comes with a quick release gear cover. So that's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using these two in tandem. I'm going to cut this up so that it's lighter, and of course we're going to make the back so that it's bumperless, so that we could lessen the weight even further. And for the transmission stuff, we'll be using the high-speed EX 3.7 to 1 15434. I like using more torque, so in the beginning, depending on the track, I'll use 3.7, and then if I can go faster, I'll go to 3.5. And I'm not going to be using the bearings here. I'm going to be using the gear cover, the AO620, and the shaft here. I'm going to be not using. I'm going to be using the fluorine coated gear shaft 15400. I'm going to be using that because it's straighter. That's the biggest reason why I want to use that instead. And then I'm going to use the Super 2 gold-plated terminal set. It's not for power. It's going to be used more for resistance to like wear and tear. Like this holds better against the greases that we use sometimes on the hobby, and that's only the reason why. It tarnishes. It'll be more resistant to tarnishing, basically. The next piece again is for transmission, the 15205, the hollow propeller shaft for S1 and TZ. You can also use it for S2. It'll say that on the back, and that's mainly for losing weight and for getting like a smoother transmission as well. The next piece is the reinforced rear double roller stay. Well, the double roller stay I don't really care about. It's all about the 3-point attachment here. We're gonna go cut off the rear basically and just leave that piece, the core piece right here for the 3-point attachment, and that's where the new front is gonna be mounted to. Gonna be using some lock nuts and some spring washers. We're gonna be using those 10307 for the spring washers. I use that for basically making sure that the screws don't move out of place when I'm tightening them and like when they're racing. And M2 lock nuts, the 2mm lock nuts, I mean, they're going to be used for basically holding down all the pieces that are really important to make sure that they don't shake out of place. And I may end up using 3 sets of these, but like I think I'm just going to reuse one of the sets that I already have, because I have a couple of AO620s that are still in like being soaked right now. I'm gonna end up using those. But these are the AO620s, part number 94389, as you can see. These are gonna be for the drive shafts. We're gonna be using that. And the rollers are going to be the aluminum rollers with plastic rings, the dish type. I'm gonna be using these on the back of the car, and the front I've decided to use the blue HD 19mm rollers that I have that haven't been used for a while. So I'm gonna end up using these for the front. I'm gonna be using 2 of them at the front. And lastly, we're gonna go ahead and use these as the roller mounts on the back of the car. If I remember correctly, these are the 38mm shafts. Yeah, 2x38 threaded shaft. Item number 94809. We're gonna be using these to mount the rollers on the back for. I don't like using motor shafts. The motor shafts tend to break. Well, not break, but like if you do like incorrectly install your rollers, there's a chance that they might like slip off and could cost you the race. So I prefer using these instead. And those are most of the parts that we're gonna need for most of the car, but these are the parts that, like I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna end up reusing. These are hard tires, the blue hard tires. They used to be arch tires, but now they've been trimmed. I don't remember the exact part number where they came from, but like yeah, I'm gonna be reusing these, and I'm gonna go find some straight shafts that will be used for that as well. And these are the 5-spoke wheels, the black ones, and I'm gonna be using these in the video. We're gonna go look for some straight shafts if we can find any from the boxes from this kit, maybe. But like I'm probably just gonna use the ones that I've already picked out, some of the reinforced ones that I picked out. And that's it for the section of introducing the parts that we're going to need for the build. Okay guys, so in this section of the video we're going to do the the processing of the chassis. So first things first, we're going to drill through these two holes right here. Now we're going to go cut the front bumper off. Make sure you cut off all the melted plastic and push them away with a file, or you could use an X-Acto knife if you want. So here you go guys, nice clean cut, should be straight. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut off these pieces. Okay, nice clean cut guys. Make sure you just go straight. And that leaves a rib in the center so that it still has wiggling strength, basically. Now, important part of Super 2 FM is to actually gouge a little bit of this so that the battery will actually go straight inside. So we're going to go switch to a grinder bit. Okay guys, so when you grind, make sure you don't grind too much, so that you actually get rid of the channel here where the propeller shaft will go. And you don't want that. See what I'm talking about is this channel right here. You make sure that you don't cut away the channel right there. Okay guys, so just to let you know, if you guys want to cut the wings off of this thing, you guys can do that too. That's perfectly fine. That'll probably lose you quite a few grams, but not that much. And we're gonna go move on to the next step, which is we're gonna go and cut the front bumper. Okay guys, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna be cutting up these this piece right here. In order for us to cut this piece properly, in order to be able to use it properly, because this piece right here is kind of basically these pieces right here like jut out a little too much. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this as a template for cutting this piece. So we're gonna go open these two packs up and then continue on from there. Okay, so basically this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna line up the two pieces, one on top of the other, and then we're gonna use that to cut these pieces off right here from the carbon, because we don't want them jutting out. So we're gonna go ahead and start doing that. Okay, so make sure that it's straight first before you start tightening it. So first I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten the corners and then the center. The center is only there for support, so. Okay, so I'm ready to cut. I'm just going to cut off the end here, and then these here as well. And then that's all we have to worry about. Just these. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this piece off right here from the edge to the other edge. So we're going to go follow the same line that this piece has, so that the line is actually straight from here to the other end. Okay. Okay guys, so after you cut it, it's supposed to look like this. Okay, but this isn't done. We're actually gonna go ahead and modify this piece a little bit more so that you could actually put it on the so that you could actually push this piece further in, because right now as it stands, the way that you actually build it, it's gonna be too far out. What we want to do is we want to push it in a little bit further. In order for us to do that, we need to be able to mount an additional hole in here. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay guys, so in order for us to be able to actually add an additional hole in here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this as a template and then use drill through the second hole right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use it as another, we're gonna connect it again here, and then here and here, and then we're gonna drill through those two holes, those two positions for the holes. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. Okay, we're gonna go make sure that all the holes are straight first before you start drilling. Okay guys, so the final steps of finishing up this front piece is going to be the new front bumper. Now that we have the two holes over here, from here and here, what we're going to do is we're going to cut off the extra holes over here on the back. And what you want to do is you want to make sure you just cut the holes off and not too much of the carbon off. So this is how it works. Okay guys, so now we're going to test fit the piece of carbon. First we gotta go file it down a little bit. Okay, good. So this piece is now done. So what you want is for it to be able to marry, basically, like in an even manner. Make sure the holes are straight when you're looking through it. That's basically it. And the most important part of actually setting this piece up is you gotta put in these pieces that I'm gonna show you. Are very important when you're setting up the front bumper. When you get a stabilizer pole, these pieces, you guys can see it. Let me zoom in for you guys. Yeah, this piece, it's like a crown. It's like a washer but with teeth. It comes with stabilizer poles. What you're going to want to do is use that as fillers for the gaps. So there, you're going to have to go put them in here, which I will show you guys in a little bit to make sure everything is refocused. There you go guys, front bumper. Make sure that when you tighten it, it's tight so that it doesn't like shift in on the spot over here at the fulcrum. Because if you don't construct it correctly, there will be too much slack and it will actually shift out of place. But it looks like the way that I have it built right now is going to be so. Adjust it a little more. There you go. if you did it correctly, you won't need to put any nuts over here so that it doesn't actually shift. Okay guys, so the next thing that we're actually going to do is an angled piece of FRP. So in order to prepare that properly, you're going to need a piece of FRP, and we're going to go clean it off first because we need to be able to double-sided tape this piece of FRP onto this, and before we do that, we need to cut it. So ideally what you want to do is you want to make it so that the piece is just long enough for your 2mm popsicle to be able to lay on top of it for an angle. So I'm going to cut the edges off right here, just past the holes, so that there's enough space for them to be able to shape the angle. There you go guys, cut that piece. What you're going to need is a piece of Q-tip and some alcohol. Isopropyl 91% is what I have. Higher could be better, but all we need to really do is clean that piece to make sure that there's no grease on it. So I'm just going to use alcohol to clean that off. If you have acetone, you can use that too. You just don't want to leave any sort of grease on the surface because we need to double-sided tape it onto the piece of metal that we're going to use to hold the FRP in place while we sand it down. Now we need to be able to, actually I didn't really explain it earlier, you need a piece of metal or even a piece of wood, hopefully something that fits in your hand, so that you're able to actually put an angle onto the what do you call it, the surface, as you actually slide it over the sandpaper that we're going to be using in the next step. So we need to clean the surface too. Now we're going to take the piece of FRP that we had cut, and we're going to tape it onto this side of the piece of metal that I have here. So what you want to do is you want to put it right up against the edge of the metal. There. Press it on. Anything will do, just press it on, make sure that it stays down. You could even use your hands. Press that down. And that's the first step of making an angled FRP. Okay guys, so the next step is for us to actually cut a piece of sandpaper and place it over the work area that we're going to use. So a lower number grit would be ideal, but all I have with me is 220, so we'll make do with what 220 can give me. Luckily I already have a piece that's basically what I want, so we're gonna cut this and we're gonna tape it onto the surface that I'm gonna use for sanding. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is just sand this piece down so that it has an angle in the beginning. It's gonna be a lower angle first and then I'm gonna start tilting my hand up a little bit more so that it'll actually start what do you call it, applying a bigger angle to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. Make sure that when you're pressing that you try to put even pressure in between the two gaps here. That's where I put my fingers, right there in the two gaps. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to check the angles. The angle of the piece. It looks like I have maybe 4 degrees. And we're going to go ahead and check it against the adjustment plate, the setting board, and see what it looks like. Looks like I have 5 indeed. I'm gonna go ahead and flatten this piece. Okay, yep. That's about right, 5 degrees. Good. That's exactly what I wanted. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this piece up, clean it up, and then put it onto the other piece of the front bumper right here. Okay guys, now that we've finished the angled piece of FRP that we're going to use as a sandwich and as a guide for the 2mm piece that we're going to use for the rollers, we're actually going to continue on and work on the rollers first. And let's see, the first thing that we need to do is take the rollers out. Break them in. Let's see. What can I use to break that in? So in this section, we're going to start mounting the rollers. So now with the way that I have the rollers built, I have these two pieces jutting out a little bit from the piece. So what we're going to need to do is go ahead and cut some channels for them to be able to actually fit. So on this piece, we're going to go cut the edges off a little bit over here so that it will fit right here. I'm going to cut the label for the 19 off so that the screws will fit on the mount. Okay guys, so now I've cut the edges. Now I've cut the edges. We're gonna go ahead and fit the assembly onto the front bumper. We're gonna use lock nuts to secure the plate and make sure that it doesn't move anywhere. And in addition to lock nuts, we're also going to use spring washers on the end so that you make sure that it doesn't shift backwards or forward while you have it installed on the car. Okay guys, so I just finished mounting the front roller assembly. I'll show you the angle. I don't think I can accurately show you the angle because I don't have a flat surface. As you can see, it has a natural angle of its own now. So check the surface. It should be right around 5 degrees. So it's a little severe, but that's basically what we want right here. Okay, I'm gonna go back. Okay, so now we're going to make the front underguard out of this 1.5 millimeter piece of carbon, and we're gonna go ahead and start working on that. It's gonna go like this on the piece right here. You guys can focus. Yep, it's gonna go like that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use countersunk screws to put into the edges over here. Okay guys, so we're gonna be using a grinder bit so that we could have the channel where we're going to put in the edges on the 19 over here. That's how we're gonna mount the front underguards through here, like this. Hey guys, so this is the front underguard now. It'll have a lip. Later on I'll actually start putting what do you call it, an angle over here, and that'll help me slip, and then I'll put tape over it too before races. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. Okay guys, in this section, now that I've finished building the new front bumper, we're actually going to work on the transmission next. So in order for me to get to that, I'm going to have to start taking apart my old car. So we'll set this aside for now. And then I'm going to need to go take my wheels from the old car first so that I can continue working on this. Also, within this step, I'm going to have to go and check for straight shafts, see if I got lucky on any of my kits, but I already have some that I already know are good, so I may end up just using those. And I have, I don't know if you guys can see this, motor, what do you call it? Washers that are in motors. I'm just going to end up reusing those so that I don't have to go and open some new motors. Clean them too while I'm at it. So I'm going to take just the wheels, because I know the wheels are still good. Okay, so now, before we start looking for shafts that are straight, what I'm going to have to do is take these washers first, and then soak them in the cleaning solution, the Roncinol. Let's see. you have to dedicate a clean jar for this. Always use a clean jar and a new pile of what do you call it? A new solution of Ronson before you actually do any cleaning for like a new what do you call it? For new ball bearings that you can use for a new build, so that you know that the car is cleaned up. So first, I'm going to use a Q-tip to clean the old motor washers. And now we're going to put in the AO620s in here. I don't know if you guys could see this, but it's already taken the grease off. The liquid has already turned a little bit pale white, and that already gives me an indicator that it's already taken off the grease. But I'm going to leave it in the solution so that we don't have to take it out of the solution until we actually start putting the transmission together. Okay guys, so in this step we're gonna open up the packaging of two of the cars that I ended up opening for this build. I'm actually gonna go check and see if the shafts in here are straight. If they're not, then I won't bother with them. But if they are, I might end up using them. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the two shafts that are here. So we found one that's kind of good. Before we continue, I'm going to show you some of the shafts that I've already tested. Okay, any of these are good. As long as it like goes in fairly far and then it stops, it's okay. But like other than that, I don't recommend anything that stops very soon, like right here, like these. If you check a shaft and it stops fairly high, like this, like that, then you know the bend is towards the center, so you don't want those at all. So we're going to take away these shafts. So we're going to use this one. Actually, I'm just going to use these two. These two are fine. Now I have to choose my gears. Okay guys, so in this step, I'm going to start putting in the gears. I'm going to be using 3.7, and if I need to go any faster, I will change that. But right now I prefer using more torque, so I use 3.7 more often. We're going to be using this soon as well, and this. So guys, I generally use the plastic ground gears because they're smoother. That's the only reason. I used to often use the black carbon reinforced crown gears, but you know, those are slowly getting more hard to come by here in the States, and I just want to use these for convenience. So I'm going to put the motor washers in, and then push my gears like my shafts from this side. Okay guys, so what I just did was put a smaller washer into the gear position right here. What that does is that it'll stabilize the gear, the crown gear, so that it'll grip the propeller shaft later once I start putting it in here. And now we're gonna make sure we're gonna put this gear in. So I always start from this side and then move my way over as I'm putting the gears in. Try not to move the washer out of position. Shake it a bit. Make sure that it's still in the same place. And now I just put 2 washers in here on the back side. Now I'm gonna fit the AO620 to see how it feels, or the transmission feels when I push it. Now what I'm checking is for the gears to all stay in place as they're spinning, that they don't wiggle too much out of place. Looks like there's still a little bit of room, which isn't bad. I'm gonna go see what it's like first. Okay, it looks like the shaft was indeed bent, and it was bent right at the tip. So I'm actually gonna replace the shaft again, just to see if I could find a much better one. Okay guys, so we're gonna continue working on the transmission. Okay, the front is now done. Okay guys, now I'm pretty happy with where I'm at with the individual drive transmission. Individual drives is meaning like individual drive shafts. I'm pretty happy about where they are. Now we're gonna go do this, but I'm just gonna make sure everything is straight before I continue. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that the propeller shaft is not loose. So right now it's a little loose, forward and back. I'm gonna hammer in the end that's still a little loose. Let's see what it does for us. Perfect. I got it right where I wanted it. Now we are gonna go on and start putting in the switch. Before you actually start putting in the switch, what you want to do is test fit the gear cover, because the gear cover is going to be modified. You need to leave a little bit of room for the battery. In order for you to be able to do that, you need to grind off the piece of plastic over here on this edge. And we're going to do that. So what you want to do is just grind the, you see this angular piece right here? You want to grind that down so that it's curved. So we're going to go ahead and pop this out first. Take this off. Grind this edge over. So now that there's a little bit of a curve here, we're going to double check it again with the shape of the bevel. A little bit more. Okay, so if you look at it, once I start putting in this battery, this Neo-Champ, it's a little tight. So what you want to do is you want to cut off this section right here that's holding the battery in. I'll double check if that's what I did. Yep. So you take a cutter and then you get this edge right here and then you cut it off. So hold it there. Press and hold. Yep. That's it. And then from over here, cut it off. Now test fit the battery again. There you go. What you want is for it to be a little bit loose once you start putting in the terminals. And from here, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So you can see now I actually have room for the terminal to actually hit the bottom instead of it just being a little bit tight on the left side right here. So in reverse, you put it in, you pop the switch, and that's it. You now have like a good position for where the batteries are going to go in reverse. So we're going to put the terminals in. Don't forget to grease some of the cards, transmission. What you want to do also, don't forget, you need to bend the terminal a little bit right here at this end. You see, if you look where the bend is, I want you to bend it a little bit more. Now we are gonna work on the other end of the terminal, in this end right here. I'll show you how to modify that so that the batteries will fit on this side as well. So the key thing for you to do is for you to cut this piece right here, because that will stop the back end of the battery, and it will push too tightly over on this side. So what you want to do is you want to cut this piece off and a little bit of this piece off. So right here, like that. There you go. It should be flat. Doesn't have the extra piece. Now what I like to do is also put a little bit of padding under each of the terminals. Mostly this terminal right here, because sometimes it gets loose. So I like putting a little bit of the black padding. There goes the black padding, and then you push it in, and that'll give you a little bit more support for the terminal. So we are going to test the motor. I'll put in my torque tube. Okay, so now you can put in the battery in reverse. There you go. So what's good is it's a little tight, but not too tight, which is fine. Now I'm going to put in this battery in reverse. Okay, so now when you put it in, you're gonna notice that it's a little too tight. So now, what you want to do is you want to lessen the tightness by cutting another piece of plastic. I'll show you where to cut. Now I want you to cut this piece of plastic right here, over here. That'll make it easier for the battery to push up against the motor, so that it's not super tight. Okay, good. Looks like the terminal's working just fine. Now we're going to use this with the green counter here. Okay guys, so now I've basically nearly done the transmission. What I need to do is break the gears in. After a while this will get a lot quieter, but that's what it sounds like. So if you want to, you could use one of these as well. Aluminum motor support, 15149, and it's kind of simple how you use it. Cut those pieces off in the center. You don't need them. They don't really do anything. So now I'm gonna put the switch in backwards, which is pretty funny to me. There you go. There you have it, guys. That's how you make the car go in reverse. Have a little bit of fun here. Okay guys, so the next part of the setup, right after we finish the transmission, we're going to go ahead and start cutting these two. So for now we're going to set this car aside, and we're going to concentrate on the back assembly. Because, let's see if I could find my box. Our goal is to maximize the brake length from here to here. So at the moment right now the front is designed to be a little short, so that the rollers are as close as possible to each other. What we're gonna do is gonna maximize the brake length from here to here, and to show you what that's supposed to look like after. This is my other car, the Magnum Saber. There it is. The brake length is right there. It fits just snugly inside, and it doesn't move. It moves a little bit forward and back, but that's it. So that's the goal. We want to make it so that the brakes are all the way towards the back to maximize brakes. So we're gonna go ahead and put this here for now. And then we're gonna screw these two together and then cut them. Okay guys, so now we're gonna cut the edges off here so that all we have is the center pieces from here to here. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't cut too much of it, making the piece too weak. So what we're actually going to do is try to hit the edge of the shoulder here and go straight down, so that we leave as much piece of carbon from here, from this position, towards the edge, so that it retains as much of its natural strength. Okay, so there you have it guys. That's what they're supposed to look like after you finish cutting them. Next we're going to install them to the car. Okay, so first thing is we're going to set aside one of the pieces we just cut, and we're going to go concentrate on putting this up on the car. So we're going to go ahead and use some screws and then put them in. Okay guys, now what we're gonna do is test fit the 2mm popsicle on the back here. Make sure that everything fits and it will go in straight. Otherwise, if it doesn't go in straight, we'll have to readjust it and cut some more of the plastic here, but it looks like I cut it just right the first time. We're gonna test it at first and see what it looks like. Okay guys, now we're gonna mount the rollers on this 2mm plate, and the 2mm plate is gonna have to go wet until I clean the rollers first. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Don't forget, we're going to use the 38mm screws, and we're going to go ahead and prepare them to receive the rollers. So first things first, we're going to need to use some nuts. Okay, so they're supposed to look like that afterwards. Now we're going to need let's see if I could find one, a 1.5mm spacer. You're going to need two of them actually. So now we're going to start the break-in. Okay guys, there you go. Now we're gonna mount it to the back of the car. Okay guys, in this step we're gonna mount the 2mm plate onto the back, and that's how we're going to go ahead and finish off the roller assembly. Some more of these. So there you have it guys, the rollers are now attached, and the next thing that we're going to work on is the rear brakes. So we're going to do that next. Okay guys, so now what we're going to do is work on the rear brake, and the way that the rear brake is going to be built is I'm going to put this piece over here, and we're going to cut off the end. Basically these two spots here for mounting normally on the way that it's normally built. It would go straight in here like this, but we're going to do it backwards, and then we're just going to take these pieces off, because what we're going to do is mount the brakes on this thing. So I decided to go with just the what do you call it, a normal FRP brake, because I don't have any more of the carbon. I don't want to use more. So for now we're going to be okay with this. Double stack this, and now we're just going to mount these to that, and we're going to cut off the ends. Okay guys, so that's what the brake is supposed to look like. Okay, so now we're gonna mount the rear brakes. We're also gonna mount it on the same spot that we're gonna be using we're gonna put the mass dampers. So you're gonna have to, don't forget to consider that when you're building. The mass dampers are gonna go in the same spot as where you're gonna use to mount the brakes. So snake it through here first, the outer hole. Okay guys, so if I did my job correctly, it should just fit just right inside the box. Oh, perfect. Just right. See? Go ahead and refocus that, so you guys can see it fits just it barely fits in the box. Okay, so that's a brake mount finished. I almost forgot to show you guys. I was talking about earlier, these mounts, these screws right here is where you can mount mass dampers. So let me just show you guys what I'm talking about. Perfect places to mount the mass dampers. Actually, I can probably close that off right now. Okay guys, so the next part that we have to worry about is the mass dampers. The body damper, I mean. So this is the section for the body damper. Before we even get to start processing this thing, we actually have to finish working on the chassis. This is a position where you're supposed to actually have the mass dampers drop. I'll show you guys in this other car. So if you watch, that's where the mass dampers are going to go. So you actually have to cut these bits off as well too. Okay, now before I continue actually starting to cut this piece right here, I just need to show you guys the reason why you need to actually cut it a little differently. If you place the the mass damper mount itself onto the end hole, you can see that the drop is either gonna be too long or too short. So you're either gonna drop from this position or too far out. Now if you do the same thing and push further back, if you mount your mass dampers from here to hang down low, you're gonna be too far back. Now over here you're still gonna hit the the battery lock and the side of the chassis. So what I'm gonna do, I'll show you guys how to make it so that you're gonna come back a little bit by about like another 1.5 millimeters. Actually no, let me measure that. Let me do like a quick measurement. By another 3 millimeters. We're gonna move back by another 3 millimeters. And that's gonna allow us to be able to have the mass damper drop right here on the side. So now what I'm gonna do is take this apart, show you guys how it works. Okay, so in order for us to actually make the proper hole, what we have to do is put 3 pieces of popsicles together. Right now I'm going to use a carbon piece, but generally I don't recommend it because at the moment all of my FRP pieces are in a bit of a bind. They're all assembled with other pieces. So what I'm going to do is show you guys how to mount, how to put all of the pieces together so that you are going to create the right build. So what you gotta do, let's see if it'll give me some, yeah, it'll do this one now. Take some washers. You're gonna need some washers. This is a 2x8 millimeter screw. Don't skimp. If 2x5 is not gonna cut it. So use 2x8s. Mount it on the second hole from the outside for both of them. That will serve as a guide hole. Actually, nope. Second hole from the end and the outer hole on this end right here. Okay, so now you see what's happening. You mount this particular carbon piece separately. Okay, there's gonna be a bit of an edge right there. You want it to be at an offset compared to the other two. So now what you're going to do is get another washer. You need to get another washer just to make sure that nothing moves out of place while we drill, because we're going to need to drill through this. show you which part to drill through to be specific. Now the key thing is to make sure that the holes are aligned. So the two holes here should be aligned on the end, and the two holes in the center should be aligned in the end. I'm going to check that by running some screws through them. Okay. Check the other hole here on the end too. In the middle. Okay. So now that if you think you're set up correctly, now you tighten them in place. Start with the end here that matters most, the offset end. Technically, with the way that I have it built, this assembly for drilling, you can drill through this hole right here on the other end, or this hole. But I recommend that you drill. It really doesn't matter, honestly. Now that I think about it, I'm gonna prefer drilling through here because there's two holes out here that have been worn out anyway, and I'm just gonna cut those off at the end later on. So what you want to do is drill straight through from straight down. I don't have a drill press. I'm just gonna go as straight as I can through the hole, and we're gonna go switch drill bits now. Okay guys, now there's the third hole that we need. It goes through the bottom here now too. Now you basically have 4 holes on one end, as you guys can see. And the most important hole here is the new one that we just drilled through. So we're actually going to enlarge that because the drill bit that I use is a little too small. We're going to do that. Now we're going to remount the this piece right here on the back. So where we're going to mount it is the second hole. It's the second hole now from the back. We're gonna cut off the end so that it doesn't actually get caught in anything. But I'm only doing this to show you guys where it's gonna fall. So now that we have the right holes, if you position it correctly, like the way I'm not doing right now, should be fine. We're gonna go cut off the holes right now. Okay, so this is just to show you guys where the mass dampers will now fall, right before I actually finish cutting, because I'm gonna cut this piece even further. If you observe, now the mass dampers are not going to have any clearance issues. They're going to drop right here, right on this side. Not too far forward or not too far back, just where it's supposed to drop, right here. Okay, and that leaves you room for the mass dampers to swing, because you're going to have the weights hang from the side a little lower, and that when it lifts up, it's not going to get caught on the edge of the chassis. So this is just the way that you want to build it. At least the way that I recommend that you build your body damper on MS2. Okay, so now we're gonna re-put both of these popsicles together, and then we're gonna finish the cutting, because we need to worry about the gears, the gear cover here. It won't clear, so we actually have to trim both ends. Okay guys, so in this step we're gonna concentrate on cutting this piece, these two pieces right here. So we're gonna set aside the car for now and cut these pieces. Use some masking tape so that you can see where your lines are gonna be. Because sometimes when you're cutting it gets dusty, so you might have a hard time seeing where you're gonna end your cut. Okay, what you want to do is you want to mask down the edges of what you want to cut. See where the edges of my holes are. That's the limit of where I want to cut. Now I will get in at an angle when I cut from here to here and do the same thing from this side. That'll give me the clearance that I need for the gear covers on the back. Okay guys, now that we've cut the extension arms over for the mass dampers, we're going to go ahead and cut this piece off, these pieces off, because we're not going to need them when we use the mass dampers. And then we're going to go and do the test fit, and then we're going to go cut off the edges over here as well too. So first, we're going to cut these off. Now we're going to do the test fit and then cut the extra pieces off of this piece. The reason why we trimmed the ends of the popsicle is to make sure that there's no clearance issues with the mass dampers. So as you can see right now, there's no issues with the mass dampers. You can clear the back end of where the popsicle is supposed to go. So now we're going to readjust this front. I'm going to flip this from this position to the other position, so that there's more clearance with the, what do you call it, the battery holder. Okay guys, now I have tightened the test fit, and now we're gonna have to cut the wings off from here to here, because we're not gonna do a hanging piece. What we want to do is make a piece that goes down, holds another piece up, and then pushes it upward. So we're gonna do that. Cut these parts off. Okay, it looks like we were gonna need another piece of this again, 15452. So what we need to do is create the side catch that we're going to use for the mass dampers that will hang over here. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is mask off the piece, the center piece right here. And then we're gonna have to try and keep as much of the this outer piece as we can, because we're gonna be using this and basically just these two holes in that hole. Okay, so now we're gonna cut the center piece out. Now we're going to cut off these edge pieces right here, because we don't need them as well. Now we're going to use this as a guide piece for this side as well. Screw them together, and then we're going to cut it in the same line as this piece. Okay guys, so in this step we're going to slowly replace each one of these screws with one of these. What I'm going to be using is 6 of the 30mm screws. These are 8 6mm spacers, and these are 4 3mm spacers. Now we're going to go ahead and replace each of those screws one by one. Okay guys, so this is the nearly finished mass damper, body damper. I'm just going to go put it in, see if it fits. Okay, it looks like we have some clearance issues on the right side. Looks like it got a little bit tweaked. I'm going to go ahead and readjust it. Okay guys, now we're nearly done with the body damper setup, with at least the framing of the setup. What we need to do now is to adjust the height of the mass damper, how it bounces up and down. So what we need to do is increase the radius of the holes over here so that it's a little bit more free to bounce up and down. Okay guys, so now I've increased the diameter of the holes here, and now I'm adjusting the, what do you call it? These are brass washers from box stock kits, from older sets. Let me see, from the fully cowled series for sure you're gonna find these. And these are what we're gonna use to be able to make it so that the mass dampers, the body damper system does not twist out of place from side to side. So what it's going to do is it's going to keep the body damper from shifting left to right while it's turning too much. But the problem is once I put this in, now it's going to have another clearance issue. So what we're going to do first is glue everything in place. Now we're going to put some glue inside of the holes, and in order to do that we're going to need to use a screw so that we could put it on the inside of the holes. So that we could push in actually no, what we could do is, we're going to do it the way that I used to do it. Put it inside the holes. It's the best way. Okay, now that that's done, what we still need to do is file the gold piece that's protruding. Let me show you guys. If you look at it from the side, the gold washer, the copper washer, is a little bit protruding from the top, and what we need to do is we need to file that down so that it's flat, flush with the carbon right here. Okay guys, so that's what it's supposed to look like. Once you file it down, it should be relatively flat, and that's how it is. So let's put it back on the car to see what it's like. There you go. I like the swing, not too much, not too little. That's just right. Now next step, we're gonna put the springs on, and then we're gonna put some of the mass dampers on to finalize the setup. Okay guys, so barring the body, we don't need to, I'm not gonna worry about that for now. I'm just gonna worry about the rest of the setup. I have a bit of a trick for you guys. If you don't have the metal bearing the metal bearings, I think the metal bearing washer, what you could do is you could use these things. Let me just focus here. These are Tamiya parts. I don't remember exactly where you get them, but these are gray, like polycarbonate plastic or what. They look like the joints that you use for making Gundams. But this is what you use. This is what I'm going to use. I'll show you how to use them. On the spots where we're going to put the, what do you call it? The springs. You're going to put them in first. And what they're going to do is keep the springs straight. If you haven't seen my other builds, you're going to know that you're not gonna know that this is how I make it so that I don't have to go buy those metal bearings that they use. So if you put that in there, it'll hold the spring in place like this. What I like nowadays, I'm starting to switch to a different kind of a setup where I used to prefer the softer springs. Now I prefer the harder springs, the silver springs. And this is how I build the cheaper way of making the mass dampers. Not the mass dampers, the body damper catch on the back. So you always use lock nuts when you're tightening these. Okay guys, so this is basically the completed car. There you have it. I'm still gonna have to try and pick out a body, but like it's really up to me, and you guys don't have to copy the same body I'm gonna use, so I don't really need to put that into the video. Some of the key things that you're gonna have to worry about, the way that I have mine set up is a little tight, and that's supposedly the ideal way to do it, so that when it actually hits, it really does take some of the brunt of the force. And I also added additional padding for the gear cover, and this is you're gonna have to get used to this too. When you're opening the motor case, this will get in the way a little bit, so it's not easy when you're using an FMS2. Whenever you open the gear cover, you have to worry about that. Open that. And this, I added a piece of the black brake here to push the motor down while it's in there, and that improves the transmission a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. With the way that I have the washers inside too, it helps prevent too much wiggling from the body damper setup. And perhaps, actually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the batteries out. You can listen to what it sounds like. So I don't know if you can hear that, but it's pretty quiet, at least for me. One of my more quiet cars. One of my quieter cars, I mean. Let's weigh it and see what the damage is, and if it's a little bit heavier than what I wanted it to be, I'm gonna end up probably doing a video on how to make this car lighter. It's relatively light right now, but I think we may need to lighten it some more. I didn't do all of the cutting that I wanted to do, but perhaps we'll do that in the next video, at least for this kind of setup, so everybody can find out how they want to lighten up their cars. So let's see if we could actually show the weight of the car. This is without the body, no polycarbonate body yet, so keep that in mind. It's gonna be a little bit lighter by maybe like 3 grams. Let's see if we could put something here that will hold up the weight of the car. Okay, so you guys could see the weight. Okay, so that's with the motor, every other piece. Yeah, looks like it's a little bit heavy. 119 actually is not bad. If you add an additional 4 grams for the body, once I put that on, then it's going to be around 123, 123.1. Ideally, we want that a little bit low. We want that quite a bit lower than that. But the difference with like a normal Super 2 build is that you don't have to worry about this piece right here. The one is holding everything in place on the front. That's one of the reasons why the a normal S2 build would be a lot lighter than an FM S2. But the difference with that is that the big difference with a reversed FM and an S2 is that the cornering is going to be much better, because of the fact that the weight of the front is where because of the fact that the motor is at the front, and that helps it corner a lot faster. Okay, so there you have it, guys. This is my full build of the FMS2, and if you guys would like to see more videos like this, I suggest that you subscribe, and please like this video and share if you guys think that other people would find this video useful. And also, at some point I'm going to be working on an AR FM or FM AR. Please stay tuned for that. And perhaps I might do an FM VS if I really feel like it. I still have to get better at building VS. So if you guys would like to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Thanks guys. Go race.